Now, it's exactly 1 year since Tommy Fury and Molly-Mae Hague came runners-up in the Love Island finale. Though you wouldn't know it, they are the winners, really, in many ways, because while they might not have won the big money, they certainly took the top prize.
You're 100% my type.
Oh, really?
Yeah, definitely. Lovely eyes. Cracking body.
You can't even see it.
Genuinely looking for someone.
Do you want me?
Gift wrap.
Genuinely could see myself like falling in love.
I think I'm already falling.
Blank deserves more than blank. She doesn't like him. She likes 50k.
I'm actually going to be fuming. I literally feel like I've been in a fairy tale, like with my Prince Charming.
You honestly, my everything, you're my entire world, and I'll love you until the day I die.
Thank you for making me realise that fairy tales really do exist.
And they join us now to tell us whether the love is just as strong 1 year on. Hello, team. Listen, it was such a big claim, Tommy, to say after just a few weeks, really, together, you know, I'll love you till my dying day. But I guess when you know, and the fact that you're still together is proof of it, is it?
Listen, when you know, you know. I'm straight to the point type of guy. You know, at the end of the day, you know if you like someone, being around them for 24 hours. And after a week, I thought, yep, this woman's for me, so I'm going to wrap her up and basically make her mine right now. Why not?
Can I just say that I was such a massive fan. I'm a massive fan of the show anyway, but you two in particular made my heart swell with love. And I'm so glad that a year down the line you're still together. It's made me so happy. How has it been now, especially in lockdown? How have you been getting on?
I think we've been doing well. Like, for us, it's just kind of like being back in the villa. Like, it's very, obviously you're just in your area, we're in our house like every single day, but it's been good for us because we're quite a stay-at-home couple. Like, we don't really we don't really go on nights out, we don't really party, obviously, with Tommy's profession and stuff and the way I am, so it's kind of good for us. We've just been like spending time just tidying the house, teaching him how to do the washing, the dishwasher.
Still not happening, never will, never be able to do it.
And you did get away, didn't you? You went on holiday just before, obviously, the lockdown and the quarantine and all of that kicked in for Spain again. But this is you two. Where are you? In Ibiza here?
Yeah, we went to Ibiza. We literally booked it the night before we left. We were just quite spontaneous. We just thought, you know what? There's no point staying in England in the rain now that we are allowed to go. So we thought we'd make the most of it, and we went. And I always say the things in life that aren't planned always turn out the best because we just had the most amazing time. It was brilliant.
Straight from the settee on holiday, why not?
Yeah. It was
But
great.
of course, what did happen, guys, when you were there, which is a product of how successful you now are, is that you got papped, Molly, and as a result, the troll brigade came out. And we've all been victim to that at some time and how horrible it is. But because of the nature of the show that you did, I can imagine how intense that is. How do you deal with that level of trolling? And I've only read a small example and it's pretty malicious.
I think for me, it was as soon as I came out of the villa, as soon as we both came out, you're literally plummeted into this new world of trolling, and every single person on this planet has an opinion of you, and you're kind of having to just sit back and say, okay, like that's okay for everyone to have an opinion of me. And I think what happened on holiday, I mean, it's happened to me many times before now, and you do just kind of get used to it, as sad as it is, and it kind of becomes a normality and normal to kind of have things said about like that about you. It doesn't get any easier, it doesn't at all, but I think for me, like, I'm lucky that I've got Tommy and that I'm quite thick-skinned, because I always say that if it was happening to another girl, I would worry for their mental health, and I would worry for them, because you have to...
Have you ever addressed any of them? Because have you ever actually picked out someone and either, confronted them about why they do it? Because I'm always so interested in who these people are, because once I was a victim of it and we found out who it was, and it was very interesting, because it wasn't the sort of person you'd think. So is it something that you ever think of confronting them about?
I have confronted a couple of people, like I'll sometimes reply to DMs that I get on Instagram or messages that I get and say, you do realise that you are what we call a troll, like you're a troll, and people just like, yeah, like that, and they're fine with it. And I just think, how are these people being raised? Like, where are these people's parents? Because a lot of the time you'll go on the account and it'll be like a 13-year-old child, like, who shouldn't even have an account at that age, in my personal opinion. And I just think it's so cruel and so scary that in a world like this, like, children are literally saying the most vile and foul things, and adults as well. It can often be anyone of any age, but sometimes I will go onto accounts, it'll be just, you'll never know who it's going to be, but yeah, it does sometimes surprise me. It'll be like a middle-aged...
Oh, Frozen.
Hang on, yeah, we've just lost
No.
there. But one of the points that I think Molly was going to say actually was about wanting to support a petition about banning comments. You know, on the sort of there's an article and then people can just comment, can't they?
Yeah.
I think we can you hear us, Molly, again?
Yeah.
Oh, it came back here. I don't know what
Just
happened.
about, you would prefer things to be banned, wouldn't you, where people couldn't leave comments on articles?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I've seen a few petitions being started recently after the trolling that happened with me to sort of ban the Daily Mail articles and ban those like comment sections. And I don't see why they shouldn't be. They're completely irrelevant. Nobody goes to the comment sections on these things anyway. I purely think they're there for people like me to sit there and scroll through them. Like, because who else is going to do that apart from the person that the article's written about?
But Molly-Mae, isn't the answer not to read it in the first place? I mean, you're very resilient, but... You know, we all of us have had these vile comments written about us, and the only way to do it is to mute the people on social media, because if you block them, they know, and then they'll form another account. But to a certain extent, just don't read it.
It's difficult, though, because sometimes you don't read them, but then there'll always be somebody that will go,
Yeah. And it's
I
not
can't
just the
believe
Daily
what
Mail,
they've
of course.
said
I mean,
about you.
You know, all newspapers have these
Every
comment
single
sections.
newspaper has it.
And Tommy, just briefly, you know, obviously you are a strength, aren't you, for Molly when she's reading these things, because it must get her down just briefly.
Yeah, try and be. But at the end of the day, I've come from a family and come from a background where no matter what anybody says, it will never, ever, ever get to me. And that's what I'm trying to instill in Molly, because in the type of work that we're in, there's always going to be an opinion. There's always going to be a bad thing said about you. So just brush it off. The trick is never to worry about what the next man or woman is saying about you, because at the end of the day, it doesn't change anything. No matter
Well,
what
can I just say, you two really are the fairy tale. It's made us all very warm and fuzzy inside today. Thanks so much for being on the show.